That is the noisy post-punk snarl of Laveda from their third album, Love Darla. We found the New York-based band making their way to the West Coast. Here are Allie and Jake on the road posting this report.
We played in just outside of Vegas last night. What was the venue? At Grey Witch. And now we're heading to Long Beach, California to do a DIY show. And then after that, we're going up the coast.
To San Fran?
Yep.
Alrighty. And how's it been going? What are the crowds like? What's the reception like? The album's been out a little while now.
Yeah, it's been good. I feel like the shows have been fun. People have definitely been expressing really awesome things about the new album.
Right.
So that's been really cool. Yeah, it's been good.
Excellent. Alrighty. Now, Jake, am I correct that you lived in Rochester, New York for a while?
Just for college. Yeah, for a second.
Which college did you go to?
Went to NAS.
Okay, because I moved to New Zealand from Rochester. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, cool.
But that was 30 years ago.
I was in Pittsburgh. The college is in Pittsburgh, so I spent a good amount of time eating garbage plates.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've been to Nick Tahoe's. Have you been to the House of Guitars?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've
been there.
We've been there a bunch.
I worked there for quite a while and made a lot of their TV ads back in the 80s.
Really?
The classic ones. So
that's awesome.
And speaking of Rochesterians, are you aware that Rochester has quite a legacy for women rockers who have escaped from Rochester? Kim Gordon is from Rochester. Lydia Lunch, Wendy O. Williams.
Yeah, I did. I mean, Kim, what did she? That was kind of like a in between period or something for her, right? Because
I think she was born there.
She was born. Oh, she was born there, and then her family
then escaped.
moved, right? I think, or something. I don't know. But no, yeah, that's crazy. But I kind of forgot, honestly.
That's all right. Because I noticed that a lot of people compare the band to Sonic Youth and always bring up Kim Gordon in write-ups and stuff. Are you comfortable with that comparison?
I mean, yeah, I think, like, you know, a band fucking only likes to be compared to other bands so much, right? But,
right.
I mean, if they're a band that we get compared to, it's a good one.
It's definitely an influence.
Yeah, it's definitely an influence. I hope that our music doesn't sound, you know, I hope we don't sound like a rip-off band, but
no.
But no, yeah, Sonic Youth is a really cool band, and yeah, Kim Gordon is awesome. So.
All right. So you guys have relatively recently moved to New York City from Albany, right?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So how was it an easy assimilation into the scene down there? Is there a scene down there these days?
Yeah, no, the scene is amazing. I thought that, we got really lucky because we'd been playing in New York so much before we moved. Because, you know, the drive from the capital region area is it's like 3 hours, 2.5
right.
if you're driving in the middle of the night, which we were usually doing.
Right.
But yeah, so we definitely were able to foster some really great connections with just bands and some venues before we actually made the move. So when we did finally settle in there, it wasn't as scary as I maybe thought it was going to be. I felt a little more at home than I originally thought we were going to.
Okay.
And the scene is really amazing. I think just, you know, you meet so many people from all over the place. who have come to New York to just do exactly what we were doing, meet other musicians, and just help like some of these cool DIY venues flourish maybe a little bit more. Just play as many shows as you can, and
Right.
yeah.
So do you think how do you think the move has affected what we hear on the new record? Does it, or would it have sounded the same no matter where you were?
Oh no, I think it affected it a lot. I mean, I really felt like moving just kind of shifted my interest in what music I was listening to at the time.
Right.
I'm a big like listener. I love finding new bands or like old bands that I'd never heard of before, and sort of just discovering everything about them. So I think just being someplace that was, or being in New York, very loud and grimy, and just kind of like made me interested in more New York bands, and see kind of where all of that rock originated, and like Sonic Youth specifically, though, is a band that I've listened to for a very long time, but never really fully got.
Right.
I think I liked, some of their bigger hits like Incinerate from Rather Ripped, and obviously like Cool Thing, and
Right.
the big ones, but the
funny to
B-sides
even
are
think that they had
actually,
hits.
the B-sides are like actually the best songs, or not the B-sides, I shouldn't say, but like just the deeper cuts are some of my favorites, and
Right.
I don't think I really had the patience to like listen to them until now. I don't know if that was because of New York or if it was just because I wanted to. I don't know, but
Gotcha. Is that a Genesee beer cap you're wearing?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rochester.
Yeah, there you go. We grew up on Jenny Cream when I was in high school.
Our drummer Joe is a big Jenny Creamer. He's right here.
You're outing me as a Jenny Cream fan.
There you go.
He has a hat too.
I don't have the. I have a dream of getting a Jenny Cream hat that's just like a normal hat, but at the Jenny store they don't have, like, all the Jenny Cream merch is so weird.
It's all trucker.
It's all trucker hat. I just want it. I want a normal cream hat. I gotta talk to Mr. Jenny. I gotta get it made.
Yep. Well, that's what brought us up back in the 70s, and when I was in high school. I went to East High School in Rochester. We had a club called the Railroad Drinkers Club, or the RDC, and we'd sit on the railroad tracks and drink Jenny Cream all night long on the weekends.
It's a good club. Good team building exercise.
That's awesome.
Jenny.
Back to New York. Are you aware of like the New York no wave scene and Lydia Lunch and Teenage Jesus and the Jerks and those guys?
Yeah, I haven't spent that much time listening to Lydia Lunch, but they are a really sick band. I'm slightly aware, but
Okay, good on you. She's got a cool podcast these days you might want to check out.
oh yeah.
I recommend that. All right, so into the record. So where and when did you make these songs? I've read a little bit about it, that you some of them come from like studio jams, which I find kind of fascinating, because I'm guessing that a lot of it is just off the top of your guys' head in the spur of the moment. How does that work for you? Is there just stuff in there that has to come out?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think like we had some demos, but even the demos were very much like straight from. There was very little like editing that was done. It was kind of just like throwing paint onto a canvas and then not touching it at all, like after. And then
The writing was pretty off the cuff.
Yeah,
Pretty much all the songs.
we didn't really dial in a lot of like melodic like I feel like on our previous two releases we were like shaping like melodies and like really working things to get them to sort of sound exactly the way we wanted them to, and this one was very much like, oh, I like that, and that's it,
Right.
It was either that was it or let's just try it again. And there was no, like, part of that was good, but the other part wasn't. It was all or nothing. And then when we started playing the you know, bare bones sort of versions of the songs together in the studio, we changed them. They changed quite a bit, honestly, and we added some things. And if it didn't, like, kind of work out right away, we would just kind of jam and, like, figure out how to make it sound good in the setting that we were all in, which was, you know, drums, bass, 2 guitars.
Yep.
And we really didn't want it to.
And how do you do your vocals? Do you do your vocals kind of live, or is that overdubbed later and thought about and poured
on the
on?
record? It was overdubbed, but pretty much in all the rehearsals I was singing while we were figuring out you know, parts and everything. So and I really think that helped me figure out the way that I wanted to perform the vocal, whereas in the past we had never sort of like, basically we have the whole record tracked in a Joe and Dan's studio upstate in Albany. It's just this old car garage that they, like, have converted into a studio, and we tracked everything there. So there's early versions of the record that are in that studio, and the vocals are all, you know, live. But those vocals specifically, I listened back to quite a bit to just kind of help me decide what I wanted to do in the final version. The final vocals are all overdubbed,
Right.
but just for, like, clarity purposes, and, you know. But
all right.
But part of me did think, I think at the beginning I was like, maybe we'll try a couple with me singing, and it was just a little too rough. But
all right. Well, maybe take me through one of the songs. You have one called Highway Meditation, and you're on the highway, obviously. And and it starts quiet and kind of whispered, and then goes from there. So tell me how that came together. Whatever you want to feel like invoking about it.
Highway driving, feel something going so fast. I don't know when. She's a time bomb elevation. I like when you say yourself into my head. I like you like that.
Yeah, that's like one of the songs that Allie and I wrote together. We just, you know, we're practicing in like our rehearsal space in New York, and we were playing this one riff over and over again that was, like, kind of fast, kind of chaotic, and we were really trying to crack that egg
for weeks.
And we kept on writing parts, like, that would happen before and after it, and basically all those parts that we did writing around that guitar riff ended up being the song Highway Meditation.
And we
never used the riff that we were trying to write initially. So it was kind of this funny stitching together type of writing, where we had, like, all these separated sections, and then once we brought it to, you know, like, Ableton, we just demoed it out, and we found that the slower part was the verse and not the bridge, and then the other faster part is pretty much the same chord progression as the verse, but just a lot faster. That's what made it the chorus.
And I really wrote the verse, like, all in one go. It was like maybe the third or fourth time I was tracking over the demo that we had, I was just kind of singing the feeling something line. I was like, I had that one little melody dip, and I was just kind of like dancing around it for a while, and then I think it was like the third or fourth time that I tracked vocals over what we had laid down for a demo, that I just basically got the melody, the roots of it, and I was like, that's it. I knew the performance was like not quite, it could be more, but melody wise and like I think feeling wise, I did this like crazy thing in the second verse where I was just like going up with my voice a bunch and like kind of screaming and not really singing like notes.
Right.
And Jake really liked it. He was like, that's really cool. We were like, okay, I think it's done. And then we brought it to the band and it changed a lot more, but
and does it change more now that you're out on the road playing it live?
No, not really. No, I mean, I think sometimes we'll
take liberties.
We'll take some liberties depending on how crazy we're feeling, or
right.
we're really rocking out. We might play the end a little extra fast just for fun or something, but it's pretty true to what the record sounds like. I think most of the songs live on this tour, I think, are pretty true to the sound of the recordings.
Cool. And you look like you spend a bit of time visualizing and making videos and things like that. I don't know how involved you are in that, but like a video like for the one for Dig Me Out, looks like it's shot in a cemetery or all that. Do you guys take much part in the conceptualization and the editing and the shooting and all that, or do you leave it to others?
You keep your light on when you walk outside and the trees are brown. You know what you said, keep your menthos in. It's 9 o'clock and you hold your hands up just like this. I know you're gonna kill me.
I mean, I think I was pretty involved in a lot of the video process, more just from like a producer standpoint and like maybe like a co-director standpoint. I really thought it would be cool to showcase like different friends, different like female figures in my life, and like kind of put them in these different places and just kind of create like a mood with them as like the primary subject. And then of course there are some other videos that don't necessarily go along with that concept so much, like Heaven, Cell Phone.
Heaven's just a
Cell
party.
Phone is kind of, Heaven's just a party, and Cell Phone is this elaborate, kind of funny narrative that Adam actually totally wrote the whole thing, and totally genius.
I don't wanna be a boyfriend anymore. I don't wanna be a girlfriend anymore. I don't need to know that my hair looks like a boy. I don't need to know that my hair looks like a boy. I don't wanna be myself on anymore. I don't wanna beat myself up anymore. I don't need to know that my hair looks like a boy. I don't need to know that my hair looks like a boy.
I remember when he came to us with that idea, I was like, how are we going to do this? And he was just like, trust me. We'll do it. And he did. And I was totally blown away by it. So it's been really fun working with him and Mars. They've really thrown a lot of themselves into this project, visually for the visuals. So, but yeah, I'm super happy to have worked with them, and hopefully we'll continue to work together for future stuff, because I think everything was super easy and fun, and that's just what it's about. So
Gotcha. All right. So this is your third album, correct? And you're first for Bar None for the label. So are you thinking in terms of a career kind of arc, where you're coming from, where you are, where you're going to now as a band?
It does truly feel like this is kind of a new beginning for us. It kind of feels like we're really just starting now as a band. It feels like, because the first record was just Jake and I, and we were very much a duo. And the second record was kind of like us trying to evolve into a band, but it didn't feel like we fully accomplished that. And this record feels much more, true to our sort of sound as a four-piece and as four individuals kind of coming together to be part of a bigger whole. And I think that, it's a very new thing. So it's exciting, though, that we get to work with Bar None. And yeah, I mean, they have such a cool history, and have some really amazing artists that hopefully we'll get to connect with some of them. That would be really sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I love their ethics, and just kind of their more grassroots DIY sort of approach to the industry. They're truly in it for the music and the artists, and
Right.
I don't think we have to worry. We don't have to worry really about anything other than just making good music and playing it and working hard. We like to work.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.